Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today I'm going to count down my top 10 figures of the year. And before anyone says anything, yes, I did my top 10 classified, but since the way that I look at it, that is my main line of everything that I collect. I'm a completist on it. I didn't think it was fair to kind of wrap that into the rest of the figures that I collect because I collect a lot of other stuff. So in this video, in this countdown of the top 10, these are going to be all figures that are not classified. This could be Mezco, AWOC, Super 7. I'm just kidding. There's no Super 7 on this, but you kind of get the idea. You guys have watched my reviews. You see what I do. You watch the live streams on Monday night. You know that I'm into a bunch of different stuff. So this is what I'm going to do. I did it last year the same way. I did classified, and then I did a top 10 of everything else. So I'm going to break it down, go over everything, quickly show you what I've done. And as you know, there'll be a review, I believe, on every single one of these. So anyway, it's time to get into this because you know what? I kind of waited long enough to do this. I was waiting on a couple figures. Some of those figures may have actually shown up in this list, and some maybe they didn't. But anyway, I think it's time to get on to this. But before we do, if you like this type of content, you like this type of stuff, I've been doing a few different types of countdowns. Please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, then hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a video such as this. Now let's get to this. All right, I want to start with this honorable mention here, and this is the Hella Dope boxes that are only available at Hella Dope Toys. These are actual wood boxes, and they're created by Random Diorama. I have to say that I was very honored to be asked to be part of this promotional deal that they did do. There's a couple different boxes. They come 3 in a pack, as you can see here. They say Hella Dope Toys on it, which is a company that sells toys. And I just, you use them to make whatever you want. So I threw a little bit of packing in there that I made up, and obviously there's just a couple different styles. So I wanted to throw this out there as an honorable mention for my toys of the year. Again, I guess this would be my a diorama action piece set of the year. Okay, coming in at number 10 for 2024 is the Jada Street Fighter DJ. Now, I mentioned in my review, I don't really remember this figure. I didn't play a lot of Street Fighter, and this was one of my least anticipated figures. But like any Jada figure, I think he's absolutely amazing. Now, let me start off by saying I know that there have been people that have had issues with some of the paint on the chest and even on the knees. I didn't have this problem, so I can't say anything about it. Mine came out really good, so I'm happy with it. He has the maximum on the side. He has this nice little chain, which all it is one of those chains for your light switches, but I think it's amazing because it just fits him perfectly. To me, he has this cocky face. I know it's not supposed to be cocky, I guess, but I don't know. I don't know anything about the lore. I love the little thumbs up and then the Mick Foley bang bang right there, along with his pigtails or ponytails. I guess it's ponytails with his little M on the side. And like with any Jada Street Fighter, he has his action effect right here, where he's kind of, I believe they said it's a kick, and then it has its little stand that can be moved around. So Jada does a wonderful job. They all come with a second head, which again, I still kind of find this is like a little cocky one, but I love the way that the braids, the braided pigtail comes down, and you can actually pop this out if need be. And yes, of course, they always come with their 2 fists. So for 2024, this is my number 10 figure, and that is the DJ, because, well, Jada just kicks ass when it comes to making figures. I don't know how it took so long for them to start doing them, but they came out and knocked them out of the park. Okay, coming in at number 9 is this Skeletron Wolf Trooper. Now, this may be the only O-ring figure that I have on it, and I have to say they really knocked it out of the park. And this is, we've kind of been waiting on, you've seen the Skeletron or the Robo Skull that I recently did. I want to start by saying this is the card art that it comes with, and there has not been an O-ring figure or 4-inch figure that is tried, but an O-ring figure that brought me back to the 1980s opening G.I. Joe like this one. And I don't know what it is. You have the explosion, you have the artwork that looks like G.I. Joe, a real American hero, the way that it was carded, when it opened, I felt like I was 7, 8, 9 years old again. It is absolutely awesome. And on the back, you have the Wolf Trooper, but he also comes with a separate head to be so he can be Skeletron, and they open up the same way. Now, I don't know where I put the Skeletron head. It's somewhere in this house, along with the other 4-inch parts. But this figure here, and yes, there is a stand before anyone says. He comes with a stand. He comes with this sword, which glows in the dark. And then he comes with his little pistol. Now, these are made by Grindstone. On the back, he has his jetpack here. And they did a wonderful job of including the weapons so they can be popped on and stored onto their person. This comes off. It does fit with G.I. Joe figures. And on the back here, just like Cobra Commander, that thing pops off. Now, his helmet is removable. So you can put Skeletron's head on. You can leave this on. Throw this on here. And then the one thing that most of the modern companies that are doing O-ring are doing, he has the swivel wrist, which changes everything in my opinion. There's no reason why the other companies shouldn't have been doing it. I'm talking about Hasbro and Super 7, but they're not. But just like, let's say Delta 17, he's able to carry everything on his person, or he can walk around with it. Or sometimes he leaves it. But anyway, this figure I thought just knocked it out of the park. If you have the Robosco, he goes absolutely amazing with it. He can fit in with your G.I. Joes and Cobras, your Delta 17. Anything like that is coming out. So there you go. That is number 9 for 2024. Coming in at number 8 is the Mythic Legions Poxus Thrace Wraith Hailer figure. I've said this numerous times. This may be the best looking female figure of all time. And I don't mean Mythic Legions or Four Horsemen. I mean the best looking figure. So first off, here is her separate head. Now they've used this face sculpt and the head in a few other of their figures that go with the Cosmic Legions, I believe. But the coloring on this one, I think, is just the best. And everything on it looks amazing. I mean, that is an absolute beautiful face sculpt right there. With the hair that hangs down, this one actually makes it a little bit easier to move around. But this one isn't any, it's just as good. So you look at this, it's just awesome. She has this wonderful soft goods with a wired cape that runs through it. At times, posing, standing her isn't the easiest. I'm kind of using her staff here to keep her up. That way she's kind of using a tripod there. But again, having all this stuff, it's awesome. She comes with a couple of special effects here because she is some sort of like witch or something. Again, I'm not up on the Mythic Legions, Cosmic Legions, Four Horsemen lore. But again, this to me is one of the best looking figures. Has decent articulation when it comes to what is seen within the Four Horsemen. But I absolutely love this figure. It is always sitting close to me because, like I said, I'm not sure there's a better female looking figure that has ever been done. And that is some really, really high praise considering the amount of amazing figures that we've seen over the years. And number 7 on my list is the Meso Storm Shadow. Now I said I know there's not going to be any classified, and no, this is not classified. This is Meso. Also, if I did the most frustrating figure of the year, this one would probably be on my top 10. But it still doesn't change how awesome I actually think this figure is, how great he looks, and how much I instantly regretted dumping out to show off all the stuff that he comes with because this color matches everything. So quickly, we're going to get into just a little bit on him. I think this might be the best looking Storm Shadow that's ever been done in 6-inch form. And that's high praise because I absolutely love the classified look the classified one. So here's one of his head sculpts. Okay, it looks really nice. I think it does wonders. If you know anything about Mezco, they use a grommet, so technically you could put this on classified if need be. And then here's the unmasked Tommy Arashikage. Alright, it doesn't look anything like the movie figure, which I think is nice, because it keeps us away from seeing an actor in classified form. But you can see the amount of accessories that he comes with, including this wonderful collapsible bow. Alright, so you can fold it up, do lots of different types of photography with it. But this figure here, with all of these accessories, little throwing stars, his different size, his sickles, different things like this. He comes with these wonderful chained nunchucks. The most beautiful outfit that you're ever going to see on a Storm Shadow, in my opinion, with a very classic looking backpack for what he had as a O-ring. One of the downfalls is that he's all white. So if you have any type of dirty hands or anything, you better not touch him, because it's not like you can wash this figure and get it off. You're absolutely screwed. So be careful with this guy. But again, to me, he's absolutely awesome. One of the best looking figures that you're ever going to get for a Tommy Arashikage, a Storm Shadow. But I absolutely love this figure, and as you can see, there's so many different things that we can do with them, and I just love having these nunchucks that just kind of dangle. Something I don't think you're ever going to get in classified, but there he is. That is what, number 7 for toy of the year, figure of the year for in my opinion. Coming in at number 6 is the Marvel Legends Ben Reilly Scarlet Spider. You can see here, this guy doesn't come with much. He comes with just a couple extra hands. You know, it's wall crawling hands, his thrap hands, and a couple punching hands. But this figure, and I remember collecting this comic or picking up a few of them, and I just loved it. I loved the idea. How he was Bill Belichick before Bill Belichick was Bill Belichick, wearing the cutoff hoodies. I have no idea. But this figure is the perfect example that sometimes less is more. He has wonderful toe articulation. I'm not a huge fan of toe articulation, but when it works, and on a Spider-Man, it should just be there. He really needs, the only thing that he needs in this figure is, I think every Spider-Man should come with some sort of web. I mean, they have a whole bunch. They could just throw one in there. But when you look at this figure, the way he articulates, you can get him in so many different poses. You can use the toes. They're actually functional. I don't know why I decided to try and pose this figure right now. That's not what this was supposed to be about. But now I'm stuck doing it. But as well, you can't see there. But as you can see, the toes actually work, unlike a lot of other figures. That toe articulation is just there for aesthetics. But the design on him, once again, very cut and dry, very sleek. I absolutely love this figure, and that is the reason why a very basic $25 Marvel Legends figure comes in at number 6. Coming in at number 5 is this Fresh Monkey Fiction Operation Monster Force Declan Van Helsing, and you can see him in this wonderful pose already, so you know these figures can be posed amazing. They articulate awesome. So you can go back and watch my reviews. I mean, this guy comes with a boatload of stuff, including a wonderful crossbow, a way to separate or change out his plate carrier, and just so many different accessories, from different grenades to the arrows that are going to go in his crossbow here. Different hands, so you have gloved hands, you have ungloved hands, that's what that's called. And then he comes with this awesome M4 platform style with a spike, because he is fighting, vampires are actually on his side, but he's going to be fighting werewolves, different mythical creatures like that. But these figures are super smooth. They articulate amazing. Right there is probably my only complaint of these figures is you're really going to want to pose them before you put their accessories on here. But they're very interchangeable, quick changing, the heads pop off. There's so many different figures coming out in this line where you can be able to change out whatever types of head that you want. But from the paint to the little details here with the carabiner hooks on it, knife on the back, which actually we can just kind of, I know it swaps out. It does swap out right there. You can put a grenade on the back. I don't know why you'd want a grenade on the back, but you could put the arrows on the back or do any types of stuff that you really want to do. But again, these figures, they knocked it out of the park. This is where we can swap out the different types of plate carriers. So one plate carrier becomes two different ones with pouches, or you can just kind of put little bags on there depending on how you want to do it. So anyway, coming in at number 5 for 2024 is this Operation Monster Force Declan Van Helsing. Coming in at number 4 is Micos Junkyard Joe. Now, I knew nothing about this character. I knew nothing about where his lore came from or anything like that. And I even hesitated and waited till the Sunday to buy him. And I don't regret it at all. So, I did go watch JLS Comics little video talking about him, and it will add to it. But this figure, like any Meso, comes with a boatload of stuff. From his, it's not canteen, but his cookout stuff here. There's a little cup here so he can drink his coffee. A hand with cards because he plays hands. His canteen here. This figure has everything. Chocolate bars, cigarettes, grenades, extra magazines, and then the sculpt, the look at this figure. The helmet that does come off, and he has this really weird looking robot head to a wonderful dog tag that actually moves around. A bayonet on this M16 with a wonderful, absolutely amazing sling. Come on, companies, can we get some more slings like this, because they just work for 6-inch figures. But I absolutely love this figure. Like any Meso, you do have to be cautious because you cannot see the articulation underneath it, because it's all soft goods. But the way these things move, they're always super smooth, so you don't really have to worry about breaking stuff in. Every one that I've ever had, the joints seem to move extremely nicely. Smooth, I mean, it is a butter. But this figure here was one of those ones that I wasn't sure if I wanted. I wasn't sure if I was going to get. Here's the bayonet here, which just pops right off. And yes, there is a sheath for it. I will say that it's very difficult to get around, but it sheaths right in there. But let's be honest. This is one of the things I actually forgot to mention in my review. I forgot to actually show that on there. But again, like any Meso, with the removable magazines, done properly with the bullet, these things are awesome. And again, I almost didn't order this, and I would have kicked myself if I would have seen it in person. But playing around with it, I like them so much that, again, we're talking number 4. And he probably would have been in my top 10 all-around figures if I even combined all my classified. I guess the rest of them might also, too. So anyway, there you are, number 4 of my figures of the year, the Micos Junkyard Joe. Coming in at number 3 is the Four Horsemen's Figura Obscura Frankenstein's creature. And yes, this is everything that you get with this $85 figure. Now, there are some things on here that I want to say make this thing as amazing as it is. Not only is the figure absolutely great, you're going to get an extra set of feet, 2 sets of heads, 2 sets of hands. All right. Here are the 2 different heads. As you can see, look amazing. So what that leaves is everything else. And to me, that is where it gets knocked out of the park, because it's great when a company gives you so much for an $80 figure or a $100 figure. But when you look at it, it's swapping arms, eight hands, 5 different heads. These are things that I can use, from this piece here with this head to the skeleton here to the hand in here to all these books to the Tesla coil. All this stuff can be used, and then obviously his bed here, or whatever you want to call it, and then the table. All of this stuff can be used. But then when you look at this figure and you see exactly how great he is, that face is amazing. We could take you can take off his trench coat, his vest trench coat. You could take off his pants if you wanted to. Nice soft goods all wrapped in here. You can get rid of the chains if you don't want these on here. This figure is absolutely awesome. And to be 100% honest, he may have been number 1 in my eyes for a little bit. And to be honest, the 3 that I picked from, I had a hard time deciding. So if someone says, dude, how can you not have him number 1? It's just my opinion. It's no more valid than yours. At the end of the day of everything, I just thought he came in at number 3. And that's not to knock him, because you can go watch my review on this guy. He's awesome. All the accessories. And I think for me, what makes this even better is he fits in with your figure Obscura. He fits in if you're a horror fan. He fits in with your Mythic Legions. He fits in with your G.I. Joe, because what you have going here, all right, this could be Dr. Mindbender. That's how I have him. He can fit in with your Marvel Legends. So even though he's bigger, he's supposed to be big. So Frankenstein's creature comes in at number 3 for 2024, and I have no regret putting him up there. Coming in at number 2 is the Meso SDCC G.I. Joe Snake Eyes exclusive. And I know what you're saying. Oh, but you already did the classified. As I mentioned, this is not classified. It is the same scale. And once again, if I remember correctly, 1 year, the classified version of that Storm Shadow was number 1. And last year, the classified version of this guy was number 1. So it kind of tells you exactly how good I think these are, considering both of those classified figures are awesome. As a matter of fact, the classified Commando Snake Eyes may be an absolute perfect Snake Eyes. But this one here, he has a little more. So he comes with this wonderful satchel where you can put some of the smoke grenades, concussion grenades, whatever you want to call them. He comes with dynamite, the blast effects. He even comes with, look at this, the claw. We've all seen Toy Story, right? He comes with the claw. An arsenal of weapons from the MP5s, I believe. There's just an MP5. These are Mac 10s. All with removable magazines and extra magazines to this awesome M4 platform that just looks amazing. He only has 1 head sculpt because Snake Eyes, well, he doesn't speak. You never see him talk. You never see his face. But everything on this figure is amazing. And coming from what I saw with version 2 Snake Eyes that came first, which I wouldn't put that anywhere near a top 10, I love this guy. I've talked about Meso. You have to be careful with their joints. But when you have this cloth like this, it doesn't really cause a problem. Matter of fact, it's way better than the canvas style type that you saw on Firefly. Firefly should be on this list. He's not on this list because you struggle so hard to get things on and off of him. I mean, to a point that you just want to scream. But this guy comes absolutely kitted out with so many things, including, look at this, a nice little detonator here. Again, I love this. I did some photo shoots with this here. But again, this guy is awesome. You can get him in some pretty good shots there. There you can get the sexy sniper pose. All right. And before someone says, oh, well, what? Who puts their elbow out like that? Yes, someone made that comment. Action figures, buddy. Action figures do it. So anyway, there you go. That is my number 2 figure of the year. That is a non-classified, and believe me, if I did a top 10 including all the classified, he'd definitely be on it, because it's hard to be this awesome and yet still be number 2. And coming in at my best non-classified figure of 2024 is this Animal Warriors of the Kingdom Primal Collection Horrid Gladiator Mongrel, or as I like to call him, Ed. Now I know people are going to go, really? This is your number 1 non-classified figure? You're saying this is the best figure of the year? I'm telling you that, to me, this is my favorite figure. Maybe my favorite figure of the year, including all the classified. The wait from PowerCon over a year ago was well worth it. And if you go back to what I said earlier, sometimes less is just more. Now, he doesn't come with this AK-47. This is an actual AK-47 from one of the McFarlane weapons, but it fits him because of his scale. But when I look at this figure, and I've mentioned AWOC before, if you don't have one and you're a toy collector, you need to be picking these up. So anyway, he has this awesome articulated jaw that actually can be put in any position that you want. All right? Unlike a lot of these Skeletors and other ones where the jaw just kind of flops down, this one doesn't. He doesn't need a lot of paint, but where the paint is on, he is perfect. Wonderful eyes. You have the nice little spots running through him. He does come with these wonderful gauntlets, but I don't like using the gauntlets. And then he comes with his blade and his axe, right? And then they come with a few extra hands. But these figures, as wonderful as they are, these things will hold up for kids. But I can't stop just looking at this figure and messing around with them. The reason why it took me so long to do this is Christmas Eve, and I'm waiting before we go and do stuff for Christmas. I figured I need to do this. It should be a quick and easy video, right? I was waiting on this guy and the Operation Monster Force Kilowog before I went ahead and did my top 10 non-classified. Kilowog would be up there. He's close. This guy, number 1, well worth the wait. And I kept going back and forth saying, there's no way in hell that I could put an Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, not even a deluxe figure, up there. But the more I played around with this figure, the more I said, he looks amazing. His paint is exactly the way it's supposed to be. And he's probably the one that I've messed around with the most in such a short amount of time. He's just fun to walk around with and just mess with. Big feet, he's going to stand without a problem. I don't know why I said that, but anyway, it's my opinion. And like I said, it doesn't make it any more valid than yours, and mine isn't any more valid than yours, or yours isn't any more valid than mine. They're just opinions, and you know what to say about opinions. Anyway, there you go. My number 1 figure of the year is this Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, Ed. Alright, so there you go. That is my top 10 non-classified figures of the year. Now again, you don't have to agree with it. You could have a completely different opinion, and that's perfectly fine. That's what makes collecting so much fun. But please don't go in the comments and be an a-hole about it. I see them. I read every single one of them. Again, my opinion is no more valid than yours, as yours is no more valid than mine. They're just that. Opinions on what we like. And again, these are all things that I've purchased throughout the year. So I'm sure there are other figures that may be better than maybe I would have liked, but I don't collect them. I don't pick them up. I don't pick up all the 4 Horsemen stuff. I don't pick up all the Meso stuff. I don't pick up any Turtles, and I picked up very few NECA stuff. Obviously, there's more and more and more. I wouldn't put a Super 7 on here. I don't know why you got those shots. I just do. Anyway, I'd like to hear what you have to say in the comments. Please let me know before anyone asks, hey, you didn't show off enough. Like, you didn't go through them. Hey, I did reviews on all of these. This is supposed to be a quick video to show you what my top 10 are. If you want to, go ahead into my catalog and you'll find all the figures. Eventually, I'll drop links to all of these, but not just now, because I want people to not just go, hey, here's what his list is. Watch the video. See why I said what I said and why I think each one is valid in its own merit. So anyway, I am going to get out of here. I do appreciate it. You've taken this long. You stayed around. Please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a video like this. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to leave my top 10 classified figures of the year right up here, and down here is going to be a playlist of all the other lists that I have recently or just done in general. Take care.